If you guys have not seen The Tiger King, please go see The Tiger King. All right. Hello, welcome, aloha, happy waiver day. Let's get started here. Ideally, you're going to want to be in Google Chrome just because it's the most Google-friendly web browser. If you're using Safari or Internet Explorer or Mozilla Firefox, you may want to change and use Google Chrome just because it's going to be a little easier throughout this platform. Once you've selected Google, let's go ahead and get to our Gmail. And when you've gotten to Gmail, you want to log in under your Lahaina Luna account, which is the one that is our name first, underscore, last name, at lahaina.k12.hi.us. That's the account we use to control all of our Google devices and Google access. The one we use for our email primarily, which is I call it the Lotus Notes, which is our employee number, that account doesn't have access to Google yet. It may in the future, who knows. But for now, you're going to want to go ahead and access your at lahaina.k12 account. You're going to go ahead and open a new tab. Or if you don't feel comfortable opening a new tab, you can just go up in the same address bar. And the address bar is this part up at the top that tells you where you are on the internet. You're just going to go ahead and type in Google Sites. Once you type in Google Sites, it's the first option there. If you want, there's another way you can access it, which is over on the right here. There's this little grid for Google Apps, and you can select Google Apps and scroll down, and it's not there in the initial apps, but if you select more from Google and then go to the very bottom, it'll show you that there's a series of all their apps. And the one we're looking for here is Google Sites, or Sites on this page here. So I'll go ahead and select that. If you notice, it's opened up a couple of new tabs up here at the top. This was the Google Search tab. I'm going to close that because I got there. This was the Browse All Google's Products tab. I'm going to close that too. And it looks like my email tab is still up. If you're not sure about tabs, it's just where stuff is happening on your computer. Kind of like when you have different windows on your phone. So this is the Google Sites home page. It says, do you want to start your first site? It says blank portfolio, and it says I don't have any sites. Some of you guys getting here for the first time, it might get you to the classic sites window, or it might have a pop-up box asking you, hey, would you like to start a new site on the Google New Sites page? And you can say sure, or you can go through the classic sites. They're just kind of different web builders. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using the new Google Sites because it's a little easier. So from here, I'm ready to start my first site. It says here, click plus to create a new site. So I'm going to come up here and click this plus. It's going to load and tell me, hey, you're here. And everything's kind of untitled, like a Google Doc would be when you first open a Google Doc. So up here would be like the name of your project. It's asking me, would you like to take a tour? If you'd like to, you can. I'm going to skip this tour or close this box because I don't need a tour right now. So this is your home page, and you can decide a couple of things. As you decide some different things, you can look at your layouts. You can come up with a theme, or you can just go straight into your content. This is where you've got some creative options here. Some of you guys that like the aesthetics, if you come over here on the right, they've got insert, which is putting stuff in there. They've got pages, which is the different pages that you will have. For example, your period, class, course, curriculum. And then you can also have different things for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Over here you've got your themes, which is kind of how you want to set up your page. So as I mentioned with aesthetics, some of you guys want to start here and get kind of an idea of how it's going to work. It doesn't have a ton of themes. You're going to customize it kind of yourself. And that's maybe the simplicity of it. So you've got some options, but it's not a lot. So I'm just going to go with simple, which is the first one here that they already gave me. They give me some color choices here. And then there was also this little button here where it looks like I can choose a color. So when I click this button for choosing a color, I'm going to go ahead and select the Lahaina Luna Red. Get us dialed in there. So this is my website, and that's themes. And that would be if I wanted to make it look pretty. From here, I'll click back to pages. And if I want to just start there, if you just want to kind of get things organized and figure out, hey, okay, this is this class, you can hit this plus sign and you can start to make yourself a new web page. Or you can go back to insert and you can just start making your first, or what's called your home page or your landing page, pretty or cute or filled with data and text or with pictures or with different links. Or if you're doing this for your own private page, it could be, for merchandise, or example, if you were selling products or showing service, and you could put those things and then you could create access and embed things, and just like you would in a Google Doc. So your page title, some of you guys want to start here, or if you want to start by naming the project, we'll go up here and we'll call this yep, that's how you spell how to build a website. So that's going to be the name of this project here. I'll go ahead and hit enter. If you want to title it here, this is what everyone will see. So if you wanted to write that there, you can say how to build a website. Or you can be a hipster and you can choose to, not have any title at all and let people kind of figure it out, because it already says it there up at the top. From there, it's up to you to start putting in content. So if you want to type down here, you want to add stuff, remember you come over here to insert, and from insert, maybe we'll add a text box, maybe we'll add images. You can put together some form of a layout, which it'll give you what it shows you, so like a picture and text, or picture, text, etc. You can set up a table of contents. You can set up a image carousel, which is when you have pictures that kind of slide side to side. Different buttons, it's like stuff to click on. YouTube, you can sync your calendar. You can do your Google Docs, can be connected there. So I'm just going to start with a text box. And down here in the text box, I'm going to allow people to know where they are. So welcome. You have arrived at the How to Build a Website home page. You are winning. So that would be me setting up a text box. For you, you could have whatever. And I'm going to put some links to some other websites that are awesome. So from there, maybe you want to add pictures or do whatever it is that you want, so you can think about different things. And this is where you've got some creative time and some chances to figure it out. If you want to grab an image, say for example, you can just go ahead and click on image, and it'll say like, what do you want? You can also come down here and you can just take what you want and go, okay, I'll take my image, I'll upload my picture, and I'll say, hey, what do you want to upload? So go to my pictures, and I'll grab a picture here, open. So I've got a picture now here, and from there I can decide to put a text box maybe next to it or a text box underneath it, kind of whatever I want. So I'll click here, text box, and I'll say, this is a self-portrait of created by my darling son. I spelled portrait wrong. Thank you for correcting me. So after that, I've got this text box, and if you notice, it's got this little grid box in the middle. That's so you can move it. You know, you can move stuff anywhere, and if you're feeling locked in, just kind of click on it and start moving it around. You know, and I think that's what's really cool about the new version of Google versus the older one is, you know, the web builder is a little more user friendly, and I think that with that you've got a better chance of not feeling like you need to be a programmer. So if your pictures are too big or if they're in the wrong place, you can move it to the side and, you know, put it over there. Now you can come down here and, you know, move this text box and put it there and maybe start typing. And so I'm kind of creating my own format. And if you notice, I didn't go over here and hit the layouts. I didn't make them do it for me. Kind of doing it myself. So that would be creating, you know, your website. If you wanted to put here a picture, it says like change image. So maybe you wanted to like set up how your website's going to be, you know, have a logo or something. So I'll click change image, hit upload. From there I'll go to my where I've got some pictures here, LHS site. Grab maybe a picture here. Maybe I'll grab that one. There we go. Get a little far side for you. So that would be me setting up a picture, putting that as, you know, the background to the website, letting people know that they got there. You can have whatever picture you want. You can change the image. You can also click header type and you can change what you want it to be. If you want it to be the whole cover and for everyone to see it, you can do that. If you want it to just be the title and you don't want to have any pictures and no fun, then that's fine. You can also come down here and click this little sparkly button and it'll take off like the Google automatically doing the readability for you. So if you click that again, that's readability. I guess it's waiting for you to put text and it'll be easier to see. This is you overriding that and saying I'm fine. So again, you've got your header type, large banner, regular banner, title only, or whole cover. We've got a text box that we created. We've got more text, and we've got a picture that we uploaded. So we're pretty solid here in our home page. It's looking kind of good. I'd like to add some new pages, but before that, let's see how cool we are on the internet. So I'm going to come up here to the top right and hit this button that says publish. I'm going to hit publish. So this is where you're going to, you know, type, or if you have a custom URL, you know, you can do things like that. For example, like if you own a domain name, a lot of times you'll see the commercials and they'll say, hey, buy a domain name for, you know, $2 or $5 or whatever it is. That's what's called owning a domain name. And in the past, you used to had to also have a host. So you'd own the domain name, but then they wouldn't tell you that you'd had to pay, you know, $200 a year, you know, just to have a internet host, which is basically like paying for phone service over the internet for your website. Now it's different, and Google actually offers sites for free, which is what we're tapping into, and this gives us an opportunity to go ahead and provide the same platform for our students without necessarily having to have that cost of X amount of dollars per year. So it's saying, what do you want our web address to be? So we're going to call it like we did, how to build a website. And if you notice, it was adding it down here in this box as I was typing. So Google Sites will be the platform, and that's why it'll give you that name, Google Sites. And then whatever it is that you make is what the end part will be. How to build a website was taken. Oh, look at that. It gave me a compliment. That's a great address, but it's already taken. So it said they took dashes. So let me try dashes. How to build a website. Oh, that one's taken too. Okay. This is where you need to be creative. And for teaching practice, creating the website, This is Mr. Thomas, there was no one on the internet with that. So if I go to Google and if I just type in This is Mr. Thomas and hit enter, I'm the only thing that pops up. So that allows a secondary way for students to access your account, because sometimes web addresses will be super long, kind of super wacky, and it's really challenging unless a kid knows how to bookmark that, or unless a kid, has that saved as a page on their phone or pinned to their desktop. And maybe that's a little bit more than we expect from a kid of their capability. So what helped was creating something unique that they could simply access. As well as thisismrthomas.com was the domain purchase. So for those kids that think instead of Google searching it, you can just go ahead and put thisismrthomas.com, the same thing will happen. So if I type up here, thisismrthomas.com, and hit search, it'll take me straight to my Google site. So that's what owning a domain name does for you. And that's how you coming up with something unique will help you, because they're telling me that's a great address, but it's already taken. That right there lets you know there's 7 billion how to build a websites. So if you Google search that, you're probably not gonna be in the top. So you may want to come up with something unique. This is how to build a website, and then let's go dash Lahaina Luna. Oh, I got hit with the characters. Okay. So let's get rid of the how to. Let's say build a website. LAHAINALUNA. Build a website, Lahaina Luna. And so far, they haven't told me it's taken. Let's try it with some dashes. Dash. It's not taken either. Okay. So it looks like build a website, Lahaina Luna, is what works. For you, you may want to have your teaching name and your curriculum or your practice or whatever it is that you do. Just try to make it unique so that way it'll pop up when you Google search it. If you want to be even more fancy, you can open up a new page and you can go to Google Trends, and from Google Trends you can look up and see like what's really, really cool. So unfortunately, in the middle of a pandemic, the top 2 things people are searching for is Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian, which is maybe a reflection of where we're at. So if I come over here and if I say how to build a website, Lahaina Luna, and search that, nobody is looking for that. Okay? If I close that and maybe go, okay, just let's go Lahaina Luna. Okay, we've lost some steam, guys, but we were trending. It was going down right before winter break. So that shows you Lahaina Luna has some traction out there, but it's like, what do you do? So Lahaina Luna math department. Okay, that's something that's unique. There's no traction there now, but you could make something happen because Lahaina Luna is already part of it. So that's kind of super fancy stuff. Google Trends. If you're ever interested in trying to brand or merchandise, that's one of the things we walk students through, enabling them to kind of test the market before they get into it. So build a website, Lahaina Luna. That seems to be what worked for us. That was unique to what we're doing. There was no Google Trend supporting it, but whatever. We'll just go with it. So it says, who can manage my site? And it says anyone. I'm going to click on this button and say, instead of anyone be able to manage, just myself. I just want that. And that's okay. So I'll just hit done. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. Once I hit publish, it's going to do its magic and then say, hey, your site's up. It says, your site has been published successfully. You can view. And if that disappears and you didn't see that, if you come over here to the top where it's got the publish word, you go to the right of it, you can go to where it says view published site. So if I select view published site, it's going to show me what my website looks like to someone coming here. If I look at my web address, it shows me this is the website that's going to be a clicked link for someone. And then it also show me I scroll and hey, it's got all my stuff. So that was what my website looks like to a user. This is what my website looks like to a builder. That'll pop up in a new tab, so if you don't want that, you can just go ahead and close that. And now you're back to your build site. So for my build site, the next thing I was looking at was starting to create some new pages, right? So we've got our home page. You can spend as much time as you want here making it pretty. If I go over here to pages and click on this pages button, it's going to be like, hey, what do you want to add? So we're going to go down here at the bottom. We're going to go ahead and click new page. Click. And it's going to say, hey, what do you want your page to be called? So maybe this page will be how to add a photo. I'm going to go ahead and hit done. And now it's going to take me to my how to add a photo page. You can tell that because it's blue over here on the side. It's highlighted up here at the top where it says how to add a photo. You know what? I'm going to take this logo off because I think that's probably distracting for you. There we go. Alright, so it says how to add a photo, and then it also says it here in my text. From here now, you can start to click back on insert and add stuff that you want to add again. So we didn't do a layout before. Let's click the layout button. And once we click the layout button, this is what it gives us. It's like you can add a photo, you can click to edit text. It's like already done for you. If you make a mistake or if you don't like it, you can just come over here to the side and hit this delete button and it's gone. So you don't have to feel like you're dialed into anything, that you're not cool with. So from here I'll click the plus button and it's like, hey, what do you want to do? And I was like, okay, well, let's go ahead and let's upload another picture, right? So I go upload, and from there I'll go ahead and grab a logo. Say open. Cool. There's one of my pictures. So now I'll come down here in my text, and I can say something like sample logo. So this is how you can maybe showcase work, post art, results, images, things you've done in class. Whatever is going on, you could kind of, isolate them. If you notice back on our home page, I didn't do any of the formatting. It was just me messing around, moving stuff. So when you went and did the formatting, it was a little smoother and it looks a little more professional. Same thing here. You can add a picture or add whatever you want. So I'll hit the plus sign. Now it's going to say, hey, do you want to select an image? It's like if you have something already uploaded or something from your Google Drive. So let's maybe get into this Google Drive. You can also do YouTube yes, YouTube is awesome. However, sometimes there are blocks and issues and challenges with the firewall at school or with a student's access on their device. So sometimes, if you can, getting a copy of the video, which I know is challenging, you can go through various online converters. But sometimes getting a copy of the video and adding it to your own Google Drive is a little easier in terms of access on different platforms versus selecting YouTube. So just food for thought. Once I've selected from Drive, it's going to take you to the box over here. And in this box, it has everything from your Google Drive. So that's how you'll be able to have a video. So earlier I had mentioned that sometimes it's easier to have a video already in your Google Drive. That's why. Because then when you click this tab and just say, Google Drive, it's right there, and that's the thing you'd like to add. You can look at things that were shared with you. So if students have shared a film, or if students have shared a project or a presentation, a slideshow, or pictures, you could just click on shared with me, and it would have whatever is in the shared with me, and then your recents, or anything you've been working on, and then starred are for, I guess, people that are superstars. So back to my Drive, I'm going to select this film here. Like I said, we're going to give Brian Murillo a chance. I'll go ahead and hit insert. Once I've hit insert, it's got the little video there, and it's got a pop-up window, and that's something that's going to be interesting. So down there in the bottom, this is Brian Murillo, and he did a hyperlapse. So in our photography unit, he chose to do hyperlapse, which is kind of a component of film. So that's now embedded in the website as an actual video. So this is where, again, you can play a student's picture or film or project and have it right there, and this is all from a layout that's been created. If I wanted to say, let's publish this site, if you want to see what it looks like, see your changes, you hit the publish button. And once you've hit the publish button, sure, we got it. It's going to be like, hey, are you sure this is how it's going to look indifferent? You can say okay, and you can scroll down, and it's letting you know. It's telling you the changes you made. So it's like, hey, you added how to add a photo. So I hit publish, and it's going to update my website. Let me see the new changes, right? And it says your site has been published successfully. If you want, you can view it. And if that disappears, you can just go up here to the top, hit the pull down menu, and you can go ahead and say, hey, I want to view my published site. So if you view your published site, this is what it's going to look like to your students or to your parents or to whoever is seeing it. So it's got the logo here, a sample logo, and that's a picture. And it's got this video here too, right? So if I click play on this video, it'll play it here in this small little box, give you a chance to go ahead and see that. If I pop it out to a bigger window, it'll play it in its own box, and then that way I can go ahead and see what it's going to look like in this big window by itself. So that's an example of what a hyperlapse project is. And that's now on my website. So I can again hit play and watch it in the little window, or I can hit here and pop it out, right? And this is what the user sees. So let me close this user tab. And now I'm back to the builder tab up here at the top. Remember, I'm just clicking through my different tabs. This one is my Drive, which has all my pictures and my videos. This is my email. And then this has my build a website, which is here in Google Sites. So things are going good. I've got a picture, I've got a video, whatever you want to add here. You hit this plus button and it says, hey, you can upload something. Let's put in a calendar item, okay? So maybe you have a calendar and you wanted to add something. I don't have any calendars, so Okay. I guess that's the one we'll insert. And we'll see. There we go. There's my calendar. I guess if you've got stuff, or if you work off of a Google Calendar, some of you guys assign homework through Google Calendar. This is a great way for you to have stuff they can check. Again, you can open that in a new box, and it'll give you the whole look of what you've added or what you've done. Or you can just have it be at a glance, and you can decide what students see. Last part here, it's saying, hey, what do you want to add? A map or something from your Google Drive again. So maybe let's have like a Google Doc. Maybe students would work on a Google Doc, yeah. So let's go to Google Docs and create a new document. This is a new doc. We'll save this. There we go. So back on my Google Drive, I've got this new doc here. Go back to my website, and on my website I'm going to go click to edit from Drive, and from Drive I've got that Google Doc right here, and it says this is a new doc. If you change the view, it says it right there, this is a new doc. And I'm going to go ahead and hit insert, and from there now I've got that Google Doc there. It's really small text, you can barely see it up there at the top. And then if I wanted to add text, I'd say this is a Google Doc, this is a Google Calendar, because I spelled calendar wrong, won that round. Colander. So yeah, that's my 4 things I've added. So maybe we'll change this title. It's kind of already set in my pages. See if I can edit this. Properties. And instead of how to add a photo, let's say how to add media. And go ahead and hit done there. And it's going to change the name of that page, hopefully. There it is. How to add media. So now I'll change this title. Say how to add media. There we go. So this has 4 different types that we've added. This is our second page we've built, which is called How to Add Media. Going back to our home page, we've got just a picture with some text and our welcome. And then we've got our header, which we can also adjust, make smaller, and do whatever we want. So that's pretty much the start. And from here you can continue to add pages. So let's add another page. We'll say plus add a new page. Maybe we'll call this how to add links. So once you've done that, new page, how to add links, maybe this will be, where we'll put the stuff we want. So you've got some different options. I'm going to go over here to the website, how to build a website. As you can see here, the illustrious and most beautiful Victoria Zupanzik, along with her brilliant students, they've been using Google Sites for a while, and they use it for not only their class websites, but for student shared portfolios, as well as the process, the builds, what they're exactly doing. So she was kind enough to allow poaching of her material to add to the website for you guys to see. So I'm going to come up here and I'll say let's add a text box. I'm just going to paste in there what Ms. Zupanzik was kind enough for us to go ahead and have. So these are called links here. If you highlight that, it'll show you that, hey, this is the link or the place it'll go to, the web address. If you hit this edit link button, you can change not only the text, but maybe you made a mistake or it's a different place you want to send them, or however that works. If I go here and publish this page and say publish, And now I'm on the how to add links. So if I want to see what this page looks like, or if I want to go ahead and hit the pull down menu and say view published site, when I look at these links, I can just click on them. So see how it changes from a cursor that's like able to select stuff to this little hand. I'm going to go to that hand. That's when you can see it's a link to click on. So if I click on that, it's going to take me to this professional build that Zupanzik and our kids made, which is literally awesome and all you need to do to have a very successful communication tool on the internet. This is the next link that they have here. This says that Zoe created this. It says email your teacher. So they've got links to email their teachers. How cool is that? And that kind of lets you know what you can do. If you hover over that, and you notice, look down here at the bottom, when I hover over that, it'll show the email address of the teacher that they've got dialed in there. So that was really cool. We've got all the different stuff that they do, the classes, the units, all their work. That's awesome. Now they've got student portfolios. So if I go here, look at this. Oh, Veronica Lara, the superstar. And so you can see all the stuff she's got here. Her own portfolio. Got a resume up here. And you know, this is the kind of tangible product that a student can walk into a interview or, you know, an internship or an externship, and they can own a domain name and they can say, yeah, hey, go to veronicalaraportfolio.com right there on the spot. And that kind of communicates a little bit more effectively in a digital era than the student that's maybe got, you know, the snazzy briefcase and he's got a whole bunch of papers. And there's time for, you know, tangible handheld paper. But, you know, let's add this now to our quill. So these are really cool portfolios that Zupanzik set up, and that's on our how to add links page. We're going to get out of this and we're going to actually make a couple of links ourselves. So if I come down here above it, whatever I want, remember you can move anything. So I'll move this down a little bit. If it's giving you anxiety, you can just click above it. And let's click the embed button. And it's like, hey, what do you want to embed? So you can embed code if you're a coder, or you can do like a website. So maybe you want students to have access to, you know, a website, Khan Academy, right? So you can click on Khan Academy. And I just go up here to the top, and if I just go ahead and highlight this link and just copy it, right? Now if I go back to my website and it's like, hey, what do you want to embed? URL is the link. So I'll just paste this now. And it's like, hey, is that what you want? And I'm like, yeah, wow. Look, it took over the information. It's like, give you a preview. This is what you want. And if it's not what you want, you can click that. Otherwise, I'm going to say insert. Click. And this is now a link that students can click on. They can get me to stuff. So if I click here, it'll open that in a new window, and boom, it'll take me to Khan Academy. And that's now from my website, and that's called like a redirect. And that's something that can be unique, and that's something where you can utilize tools that can help students, or you can utilize different resources for your classroom. If I come up here, you know, if you notice, text box is a great place to start, and it's kind of like your open forum. If I go over here to text box and say we wanted to add a link, you know, to a website or to our Google Drive, or maybe you've got a video or you've got something that you want to go ahead and add, we can just type in whatever it is that we want to show that the kids say. So you can say like, click here for a job, right? And once you say click here for a job, you highlight that whole word, or you can highlight just the click. But whatever part you want to be the hyperlink or the hot part. So I'll do the whole thing first. And if you come over here and click this little insert link button, some of you guys have done this in emails or Google Drive or wherever it is. You hit insert link, it's like, hey, well, what do you want to add? And you're like, oh wow, I've got a bunch of stuff. So you can add something maybe from this website, so like a page, or you can actually have a link. So maybe this is the time where you've got like a really cool presentation, or maybe this is the time when you've got Veronica Lara's portfolio, right? Or whoever, pre-calc portfolio. So I'm going to copy this pre-calc portfolio and go back here to my website. And when I say click here for a job, and it says click for the link, I'm just going to go ahead and paste that link right there and go ahead and hit apply. And now that's a hot link, right? So let's publish this page. We'll hit publish again because that's kind of our methodology for making it go live so I can view what it looks like as a user. And I see click here for a job. It's red now instead of black like this other text. So let's view this as a published site. And when I view this as a published site, and when I hit click here for a job, it's going to take me right there to the portfolio. And that again is a great way for you to utilize something that you've created, whether that's a slideshow, whether that's a test, whether that's something on Google Classroom, a survey, activity, whatever you've got going on. So these are all examples of ways you can be successful utilizing digital communication in the form of a website to enhance your teaching practice. I've got a couple of pages that we've built. The home page, we've got how to add media, and we've got how to add links. I think this is a good beginning. We've got a good chunk of data that hopefully this film will allow you to go back and just kind of pause or listen again to a part if you think you missed it. I think that the part that's really successful and helpful in the practice from my site is upload folders. And an upload folder is basically how students can turn in their work, right? So down here it says LHS Agenda Planner Design Challenge, and it says upload folder. And so that's, a student can access that at home, from their phone, anywhere. And so absenteeism happens, whatever. You can get to, This Is Mr. Thomas anywhere. And so when students say, hey, it wasn't turned in, or I need more time or whatever, I get you, but technology isn't necessarily an excuse anymore. So if I click like on that upload folder, it's going to take me to my Google Drive, and it's going to have all the stuff that I've been uploading for the students and keeping. So this was the design challenge the students went through. And Miss Pacalana Phillips had the brilliant idea to allow our students to, our freshmen, our incoming ninth graders actually, they're going to be sophomores now, but she had the idea to allow them to design our agenda planner for next year. And so some of them illustrated it, some of them took pictures and had a collage, some of them used watercolor, some of them used pencil, some of them used calligraphy, some of them used digital art and illustrations and Photoshop. But it was just a creative way for students to express themselves as well as exercise a little bit of school ownership and school pride. And so that's something that a student would upload right here on the website. And for me, I would go into my Google Drive and I would just simply say, let's go new folder and let's call this upload. And with my new folder now, I can just go ahead and change these share settings just like you would on a Google Doc, and this is kind of a different lesson. And from here I can decide, hey, who gets access to it? I can change it and I can say, hey, anyone with the link can get it. Okay, cool. Done. Now if I check that folder again, share, it says anyone on the internet with the link can view. So let me copy this link, right? Once I've copied that link, let's go back here to the website. And on this how to add links, shrink this, make it a little smaller. Let's do a new text box here so we can put them side to side, make them look cool. So on this one, I'll say submit homework here. Homework work. Yep, that's The Simpsons. So submit homework here, right? That's the name of the text. So I'm going to highlight that. Come up here to the insert link button. And from there, remember, I simply copied the link from that folder. So this was the folder that we just created. If you're not clear on that, that was the upload folder we created. We went new folder, and that gave us a folder we titled upload. And then we went to share, and we're just going to go ahead and copy that link. Now when we go back to our website, and it says down here in the link, I'm just going to paste that. And when I paste that, I'm going to hit apply. So from there now I've got click here for a job, which is going to take me to a portfolio. So that could be like the sample work, the sample presentation. And then submit homework here is the upload folder that students would utilize to go ahead and turn in their work. So let's go ahead and say publish. Publish. And let's go ahead and view this as a published site. And now when I click submit homework here, it takes me right to the Google folder. And so this is what a kid would do on their phone or on their computer or at home. And they would just simply go ahead and go to their pictures or whatever it is. From there, they just turn in whatever it is that they want to go ahead and turn in, drag it and put it right there into the folder, and they'll have access to it. Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo from my darling child. So that would be how a student would be able to go ahead and access that, and then they can rename it, and they can be like Irie Thomas period 1 submission. Boom. Hit OK. And so me as a teacher, I can see all that. I can be like, oh, okay, well, you turned it in at 7:04 p.m. and that's when, or 7:03, got it. And this is, again, another way to hold students accountable in terms of understanding deadlines and time management, which is something that's really challenging when you're in high school. So that's how you can create an upload folder or a submission folder in a way that students can turn in things remotely instead of just emailing them to you and, kind of clogging up your email. You can utilize this as a communication tool. So those are the different ways that Google Sites can allow you to be successful in a classroom. A lot of times, so this is like, again, the teaching site, for my 9th grade class. So quarter 3, they did a self-directed project. And so they had to begin with, the client-based projects understanding. So they click on the document, and that's basically like teaching them, hey, what's the project? What are we doing? And that's like the way that I can kind of front load for them, and they can kind of see that, access that in their own time. Then I'll give them a folder that's called sample presentations. And that's, again, access to a Google Drive, and that will allow them to go ahead and see some presentations that have been really successful. So, students oftentimes are more successful when they have an opportunity to go ahead and see what other people have done. So this allows them to go ahead, Chelsea, superstar. So this allows them, to go ahead and kind of see like what another student did when they were going through their process and their build. And that's the way that you can utilize that as a tool so students can see like, oh, okay, I get what's happening. From there, that would be like a sample photography. So they're creating a product for a client, and some people they did different things, they had different ideas, or sample projects. That would be like a film or something along those lines that people could see different projects that they've done. This is me putting some external links. So like custom ink, it's a great external link for students to kind of help build mock-ups. You can kind of do online logo work, and without paying money, you can kind of see what your stuff's going to look like on a shirt. These are all different links that help that. This is kind of like a heads up, hey, letting you guys know you got a rough draft due this date, letting you know what's entailed in that check. And so when students come back from being absent or from being sick, whatever, they're like, oh, I had no idea what we were doing. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Those are the same students that are watching series after series of Netflix on their phone. And so sometimes it's really challenging to have that conversation to where you want to hold them accountable in terms of the access to technology that they have in their own pocket. And if they're truly utilizing that to allow themselves to experience some academic success. So that's like a way I give them a heads up. And then that's how we'll start presentations, letting them know like when our date is. And then we'll have like the upload folder. And then that's the way students can kind of know that the countdown's happening. So that's from the teaching site. We've got the most illustrious Victoria Zupanzik has given us all the student portfolios and sites that they have created. And we've got some different links to our Google Drive here. Some links to some external sites. We've got media here. So we've got an uploaded video that we can watch that's embedded. We've got a calendar, a Google Doc here, a logo picture, and we've got our homepage where we've just got our landing place and saying whatever we're saying. So yeah, that's Google Sites. It's pretty straightforward and will look however you want it to look and can be as much or as little as you want it. But I think the tool of it is the part that we all could probably utilize to help out. And I just want to empathize too by saying that I don't speak Spanish or Hawaiian, and I can't change an alternator or brakes. So I'm not an expert in the fields that people maybe assumed, oh, why don't they have a website? And, in digital media, it's easy to have a website. But in other, in PE, PE is the antithesis of a website. So there's still a place for us to be human. I'm not trying to encourage anyone to lose the skills and the things that have allowed them to be great in the classroom. Just possibly considering something additional to add to your repertoire. Thank you guys for your time. Be safe and aloha.